Share that I am thankful to Abundant Love Apostolic Church for this women's tea and talk, this virtual tea and talk, an opportunity for ladies to get together from near and far, from different walks of life, to be able to talk, share, glean, take something from this, and to grow from it. So this is really going to be about us taking something from this, applying it, and growing from it. Hopefully I'm able to provide my experiences to be able to share that. And so the first work, as I was saying, the effectual prayers that avail, the prayer project that I'm sharing with you. These are prayers, I think, over a amount of maybe 2-year time span, that were birthed out of prayer and shut-in. So throughout those times, whenever the Lord would lead me into fasting and shut-in, where I'm literally shut away from everyone and everything else for however long the Lord would have me in there, through prayer, through study. It could be a specific prayer request that I had before the Lord. It could have been anything that I would begin to pray about. And as I'm praying about it, I'm pulling scriptures because I know there's power in the Word of God. And these prayers were birthed. And I felt the urgency really towards the end of 2025, around the November time, to really begin to put something together. I felt such an urgency around this. I said, okay, we need to start doing this. And we started the recording for the project. And even still, although this was released in end of March, so I really felt I was still behind the 8 ball, right? I was like, Lord, I was supposed to get this out earlier. But I just felt a sense of urgency. And I believe when God stirs you up with an urgency about something that is positive, that's in alignment with your gifts and callings, it is part of your purpose. It is in alignment with your purpose. It is in its season and its calling, and it's for that. So this is one of those projects that was birthed out of that. That'll probably be the only thing that you see me talk about today. Again, that's the Effectual Prayers That Avail, the prayer project. It is available on only one platform, and that's by design. And you can scan the QR code to get those there. If you want to find out anything else that I do, go to ayanaspeaks.com, and that's where you'll find all that stuff. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I really want to get into what I believe the Lord is put on my spirit. And it's been on my spirit maybe for periodically, on and off, for a little while, but it's been on my spirit, I think, heavily over the last month. And if you follow me on Instagram or on LinkedIn at Ayana Speaks, in any of those areas, you will sometimes see some of my posts or references to blogs that talk about this topic. And so I want to talk about capable, called, you choose. It may seem odd, but take a moment. Capable, called, you choose. So if the chat box, if the Google Meet chat box or our DM messages, whatever, had a look, this is what the chat box would look like. This is the chat box personified, okay? And the Google Meet chat and the DM messages is ready to take your responses. So I want you to take a moment right now and put in the comments, put in the chat box, list what you are capable of doing and doing well. And if you're not boasting, if it's 10 things you like, I could cook, I could sew, I could do this, put it in the chat box right now. So take a moment and begin moving those fingers. List what you are capable of doing and doing well. Remember, we're talking about being capable, called, and you choose. And right now, you just took a moment to put in the chat box all the things that you believe, yeah, I'm capable of doing these things. And you know what? I do it well. Okay? So now I want us to think about it. Now list how many of the things that you are capable of doing well are things you are called to do. And our comments box, our chat box is waiting for you to respond. Now list how many of the things you are capable of doing well are the things you are called to do. Take a moment to put that in. So just to reiterate the question, as we are writing, the things that we listed are the things that we're capable of doing well, are those things that we're called to do. And the question on the floor is, well, how do you know you're called to do that? And that's good, because I'm going to get to what we talk about being called in a moment. But some people already answered, yes, everything I wrote, I'm called to do it. Some people said some of those things. And let's talk about that. When we're talking about calling can come from a variety of areas. It could be the role that you are that you've, taken on. So you are a mother, and as a mother, you are learning, right? Every day you're learning in the process. Every child teaches you something new, so you're constantly learning, right? But you are in that role and you are called to it, right? You're called to mother. Okay. Some people, you can't just say, well, I don't think I'm called to this, so I'm out of here. Some people do that. But it's not just about being capable of bringing forth a child or raising a child, but it is about I'm taking on that role and I'm called to it. So sometimes your role calls it. The other calling is something that you're passionate about it. You may have the ability to do it. It may be something that's unique to you, or maybe it's not. It's something that consistently comes back to you, not because you are trying to be like someone else, not because someone else is reiterating it, but it's something that you constantly find yourself drawn back to, some way, somehow. A calling encompasses all of that. It is something that will continue to draw you. It is something that will continue to speak to you. You can be so tired, but you'll find yourself, to those that said they sing, you might find yourself harmonizing, half sleep, but still trying to harmonize. What's the melody of that song? Thinking about it. You could be a dancer and you can be so tired, just had so many rehearsals, and you're about to go hit the bed, but just something hits you. You said, let me just work out this movement. Okay. You can be called to be a costume designer, a seamstress, a stylist, and you have just been working into the wee hours of the night, and you're about to lay your head, and you would remember, no, that's the different switch I need to do to really plug this in. You might even get up to just put the safety pins in it. It's something that you feel compelled to do. You're drawn to do. Whether or not you get tired of it, whether or not you're saying, that's it, I'm done, you find yourself coming back to it. So when you look at some of the things that you're capable of doing, the question is, are you called to do it? Not that you do it because people rely on you to do it, not because you think it's something good to do. The question is, are you called to it? Do you seek after the education and training in it? Is that the modality in which you need to express whatever it is you need to express? For some people, they were really good at cooking, and so they cooked for their family. They made sure. My grandmother was really good at cooking. Okay. She was a stay-at-home wife and mother of 10 children, and she cooked. But my grandfather, my mother would tell me, would always say, babe, cook a lot. Make sure you cook enough. Okay. Cook enough. And my mother would always tell me, that meant, cook so that anybody else who was in need could come by the house and get something to eat. And some people would come by with a plate and she would give them some food, right? So he would always say, cook enough. That was for more than just the 10 mouths. That was 10 children, okay? More than just the mouths, but for anybody in the community, right? So not only did she cook, but there was a certain calling in her cooking. She fed people as well, right? So I can like to cook it and not be good. You know what I mean? Only I like to eat it. I might be capable of doing some things, but I may not really be called to do it to the masses. Okay. So that's what I want you to look at. For some of those who just logged on, there were two things. Our topic is, again, capable, called, you choose. And first thing, we listed in the chat box or in the comments box everything you're capable of doing. And if you're just joining in, please do so. And then we looked at all those things that we listed that we were capable of doing. We didn't add anything new. We said, those things that I said I'm capable of doing, am I called to do it? Not only am I needed to do it, because someone else could be doing it and doing it well, or doing it with more ease, but am I called to do it? Is that my responsibility? Is that what I need to do in this season? Is that what I need to do in this moment? So to answer the question, called, that's what we kind of think about when we think about being called. Now, let me share something with you, okay? So, I remember very clearly having this dream, okay? And this is going back years ago. And I had this dream that I was in a supermarket and I was going shopping and I had all my groceries, right? I had all my bags, quite a few black bags. And it was very busy in the supermarket, and this line was getting backed up. I don't know if the cashier left her register or what. Now, I wasn't working there, but I knew I could do it, right? So I put my groceries down and I started ringing people up, right? There was a need. right? The line was backed up. There was a gap. The person who was supposed to be working there was not behind the counter. I wasn't supposed to be working there, but I was capable of doing it. So I got behind it. I was ringing people up. I cleared out that line. This is all in my dream, okay? I cleared out that line. Once I cleared out the line and I was ready to go, I looked down to get my groceries and my bags were gone. All my bags were gone. Then I woke up. I'm like, I woke up and I started thinking, God, what does that mean? What does that mean? And the Lord began to reveal to me, and it was here, that everything that you are capable of doing, you may not be called to do. Why is that? Because I cleared out the line in my dream, but what I went into the store for, the things that I needed, that I purchased, that I was supposed to leave with, I put them down to do what I was capable to do. And when I turned around, I no longer had what I came for. So there's a difference. There are many of us that are being pulled left, right, front, and back. There are many of us that are unclear of our next steps because we're like, well, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to do this. I want to do that. Some of us are not moving forward because it's, do I do what I studied, or do I do what makes money quick? Do I do what's the newest trend, or do I do this? Do I stop doing that because it seems no one else is interested? But we're pulled in all these directions. These people are in my ear saying this. These people are in my ear saying that. People will talk you up. Go ahead, you're supposed to be this. You're supposed to be this. You do that. You do that. You do that, because they see a capability. But the question is your capability what you're called to do? And that's something that I remember in this dream. Everything that I am capable of doing, I may not be called to do. I may love music. I may love to sing, but I may not be the best lead singer. And you know what? I may not even be called to sing. But people may push me, go ahead, sing, sing, sing. Let's everyone get up here and sing. And what I'm called to do is missing me. So it's empty. It's going without, because I'm doing what I'm capable of doing, whether I'm doing it well or not, whether or not I'm capable of doing, but not what I'm called to do. So there's a gap. There's something missing. And the reality, when we say you choose, is you can continue to do the status quo and do what you're capable of doing. Or you can ask yourself the hard questions, which is what I am doing what I'm called to do. Now, the tricky thing is what you're capable of doing is something that you can do to certain degrees. Some people do it better than others. You can have great ideas. You might even have success in that area. You may be supposed to do it for a season, but not forever. The tricky thing is you can function in the thing that you're capable of doing. But the question is, am I called to it? Am I called to it? So there I am. You saw what I was dreaming about, right? Was it what I was called to do? Then I thought about this instance in the Bible, and I would be remiss if I didn't bring your attention to this reference in 2 Samuel 6:6-7. You don't have to go there. You're looking at the scripture references there. But it was about the people taking the Ark of the Covenant from where it was, trying to bring it back into the temple of God, right? And the Ark of the Covenant was supposed to be carried on the shoulders of the Levitical priests, right? Instead, they were carrying it on a cart and going along a bumpy road. And it looked like it was about to fall. And Uzzah, a guy that saw that it was about to fall, said, I'm going to do what I'm capable of doing. Let me reach out because I can catch it. My reflexes are good. I can get this real quick. And to catch it from falling, and he ended up dying. You can go in deeper to kind of like, wait, what? He died? What's the deal with that? Why? Okay. And for those of you that need sort of a visual image, you can kind of check it out and see. But that was something he was capable of doing, but he wasn't called to do it. And even though in this instance, it's like, oh my gosh, he died. But how many of us die from our purpose, die from our mission, die from the souls that we were supposed to reach, die from realizing our potential because we're doing what we're capable of doing and not what we're called to do? There is something that you were interested in, still are interested in. It still stirs up in you. When you hear something that has to do it, you're drawn to it, but it's probably your calling, but you're not walking in it because you're doing something else you're capable of doing. But that area that you're called to is missing you. And the reality is you can choose. You can choose what you're capable of doing and might have some success, or you can choose what you're called to do and walk in alignment with what is your fulfillment of your purpose and your potential. So if you ever go to my website, and I welcome you to do so because I started this blog thing, and I say that because I didn't always want to do blogs, but these are some good topics that I have listed up there. So ayanaspeaks.com/blog. But one of the blogs that I posted up was moving in calling versus operating in talent. I told you this topic about, called and capable, doing what you're called to do and not just what you're capable of doing, has been stirring up in me for such a long time, but really has kind of come to a head right now. And so this is one of the articles. You can feel free to peruse any of the other articles that are there actually. But moving in calling versus operating in talent. Why your gift is just the beginning. That was the caption for it. But I want to take you to an excerpt of that blog. And it reads, I'll read it for you. Calling is the assignment. Talent is the tool. So think of your talent as a hammer. It's a tool. You can use the hammer to build a house, or you can just carry it around and show people how heavy and how shiny it is. Many of us are just walking around showing off our hammers. Moving in your calling means you have finally looked at the blueprints. Now, the blueprint could be the word of God. The blueprint can be what God shows you in prayer. The blueprint can be all your past journaling. When you wrote about this dream, when you thought about this dream, some of you have to go back to the things that you wrote or you drew or you painted or that was the blueprint. Calling is the specific assignment on your life. It is the reason you were given the specific voice, that specific history, and yes, even that specific pain. Your talent is simply the vehicle that carries the message. When you move in calling, you are no longer working for yourself. You are on assignment. So this is what the shift looks like. Talent says, I want to be seen. And that's not every case, but calling says, I want them to be free. Talent says, how do I look? Calling says, what do they need? It's time to choose. Let me go back to the example I shared in the beginning of my grandmother. She could have, if she wanted to, my grandfather was a hard man, so she could have said, what? I got right now 6 children. I got you. I've been cooking morning, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I'm just going to cook enough for the 7 of us and what's left over for tomorrow because I'm tired. I'm not going to cook enough for the whole block in the neighborhood because I'm tired. More cutting, more chopping. But instead of saying, I'm tired, her calling said, let's feed more people that's going to come to the back door because they don't have a home cooked meal. She operated not just in her capability to cook, but in her calling to feed others who were in need. And so when we talk about capable, called, but you choose, this excerpt from the blog says, it's time to choose. You have a choice today. You can continue to be talented and tired, or you can be called and commissioned. See, sometimes when you do just what you're talented to do and you're not called to do, it's going to drain you a little bit. You're going to find yourself a little more tired. When you're doing what you're called to do and commissioned to do, it refuels you. Like, yes, you get tired, but it refuels you. You hop up with the next idea. You can keep your story under lock and key because you aren't a writer. Or you can find the stage, the microphone, or the classroom that is waiting for your voice. See, You can be called to do something. You just need to find out the modality and the way to do it. Okay? So we're talking about, that's just the excerpt from the blog. Feel free to read the whole blog if you like to, if you go to the site. But I wanted to pull this out to you. You all take a moment just to scroll back through the comments and look at what you wrote down as what you're capable of doing. And look at what you wrote down as what you're called to do. Are you called to do what you're capable of doing? Is that your assignment? Do you realize that what you wrote down as what you're called to do wasn't even the things you wrote about that you were capable of doing? Did you even realize that in this phase of life right now, that you really don't have time to be doing everything else? You really got to have this alignment happening. Time is going by so fast. I don't know about you all. You know, the Bible says, if the Lord doesn't shorten the days, no man will be saved. Okay. So I understand there's a purpose of why time is moving quickly. Right. But now I'm like, I got to catch up with time. I got to catch up with time. Right. It's moving so quickly. So I don't really have time to do what I'm capable of doing and not called to do. I was presented with a potential opportunity, something that I've done before, something that I am capable to do, something that I'm like, oh, that sounds like fun. But for the first time in my life, I had to say, God, am I called to do that right now in this season? And I didn't get the release to do it. I didn't get the zeal to do it. I didn't get the flood of ideas to do it. I didn't get the energy to do it. Like, when it's something that God has given me to do, I'm not really a morning person, but I'll wake up super early with ideas. I go to sleep at night and I'm thinking, I want to do this, I want to do this. I get into execution mode. I start pulling up, I want to do all these things, right? In this time and season, are you really maximizing who God has called you to be? And are you doing what you're called to do and saying, you know, I'm capable, but I'm not doing that right now. I'm making a choice because right now is the time to choose. So I'm going to, I don't know. I like to always leave some steps, right? And then I want to hear from you all. I want to open up. I want to hear from you all. I want to make sure I am 3 minutes shy of my time. Okay. So 3 things, because I like to get information and I like to apply it. That's just how I operate. Hopefully you could take something from it. If you don't want to apply anything, you just want to ruminate on what we're discussing, that is okay too. But capability sustains you. Remember, I said you can have some success, you can make some money, you could be okay, but calling is what fulfills you. And the calling is what's been in you before you were even created in your mother's womb. Calling is what speaks to you over and over throughout different points in your time. Calling is what you'll see in your journals if you ever kept them. Calling is what was in your dreams. Every time you have this dream, you see yourself doing this thing or something related to this thing. Calling is what continues to reignite you every time there's something else that concerns you. It kind of ignites your spirit. And calling is what fulfills you. Calling commissions you. So first and foremost, let's get clear. I'm telling you, if you, I know we're all on social media and everything, but if you spend most of your time on social media, you will be pulled so left and right thinking, let me do everything else that seems that I'm capable of doing, but not what I'm called to do. And you get pulled to and fro and we're not clear. So number one, let's get clear. Okay? Know what you're doing out of skill, capability, but now say, wait a minute, what actually aligns with me? Okay? Pay attention to what gives you energy and meaning. Remember, I talked to you. You could be that. I've spoken to people who were in their calling. They were like, look, I know dancing is part of me. I had to take a break from it for a while, but I found myself called back to it. I'm doing it professionally. I could be dead tired, but I get up and I'm choreographing another dance. I could be, oh, my brain is so drained, but an idea comes and I got to start jotting down ideas because I'm a writer. Someone may start visualizing things because they are the ones that put the plays together and they envision those things. Someone may start working with children or finding themselves meeting the needs of children because they're called to work with children, right? Because it gives them energy and meaning. Pay attention to that. Number 2, start moving towards it. You can take small but consistent steps towards what you feel called to. Okay, I don't really think there's going to be a perfect timing. I told you with my my most recent prayer project to music, I felt an urgency, right? I felt like I still did it a little bit later than when I needed to do it. Maybe there isn't any perfect timing, but I had to respond to what was giving me energy and that urgency. As long as I took those small but consistent steps, that's what made it come forth. So start moving towards it. And number 3, let go and commit. Somebody put that in the comments, please. Let's go and commit. And that might be the scariest part, because you may rely on what you've been capable of doing and you had some success and you kind of all right with it. Or maybe you haven't been success. Maybe where you're stuck is because you're doing what you're capable of doing, or maybe not as capable as you think, and not doing what you're called to do. Let go. Release what no longer fits you. Stay consistent, moving towards your calling, even when it's uncomfortable and unclear. Even when mentors don't support you and lift you up. Even when people speak negatively to you and it turns you off from the field that you love, the thing that you love. Even when people are encouraging you to do that because they want you to be involved, and you're a worker, but it might be uncomfortable saying, no, I think I need to do this. So you got to let go and you got to commit to what you're called to do. So 3 steps I wanted to leave with you. All right. Number 1, get clear. Number 2, start moving towards it. Number 3, let go and commit. We're talking about capable, called, you choose. Okay.